Hello. G'day, everyone. Ah. Things we do. Apparently, I have to go live because someone's all lived out. So, it is what it is. I'm trying this on Streamlabs. I'm not going there. I really am not. Hello, Kendall. How are you? I'm trying this not directly through YouTube, but through Streamlabs. So if this fails, I don't know. It's been hell on earth again today in terms of technology. But for those that caught Chances live earlier, you'll understand why. But we did actually end up getting it to work. Yay! Just looking for a girlfriend. Yeah, we're not going there, cookie lover. Aren't we all? Well, some of us are, but, I think I've just about given up, to be honest with you. Yeah, we get those occasionally in chat. It's like, they all of a sudden, hello, Nepenthe. We all of a sudden get somebody who comes into chat, who's single, who basically thinks they can just find a girl without actually respecting the fact that it's a safe place for everyone, and it's like, really? It's not a dating site. It's like, we actually want everyone to come in there and actually have a great time, and it's like, and just feel like they're not being bombarded from 15 billion different directions. It's kind of upsetting, I suppose. And everyone's just really lovely there. We don't need people like that coming in. It's just, it kind of just cheapens the whole thing, really, and it's kind of sad. But, well, that's debate. Well, you are married at the end of the day, Chance, so, obviously someone found you attractive enough to walk down the aisle. They'd be chasing my sweethearts around everywhere. I'm sure your wife loves you dearly, though. It is, what is it, 16 years now? I mean, she wouldn't have hung around for that long if you were unattractive. So, Hey, Bobby C, how are you? 20 years married. Well, you realise people get longer and you're not bloody 84, so get over it. Stop, just quit that. And I'll get it over and done with now. Fanny, there you go, Chance, I said it live again. So, I can't stop, it's too funny. Oh, I'm only saying it once, though. I'm not saying it again. So, But yes, that was a fun show. You'll say it again when you least expect it. Probably will, yes. Hello, Wisgen. How are you? How are you, Jennifer? Hope you're doing well. It's nice to be able to jump to something, My Fugel Jams is pretty good, so doing good. Awesome. Is it still stinking hot up there? I don't know. You guys seem to have, Jennifer, you seem to cop it the most. It's either absolutely buried in snow or it's stinking hot. So 55, yeah, whatever. I don't know what that is in degrees Celsius. I literally have to walk around with a currency converter, or like a converter, so I can actually see what you guys are rabbiting on about. Aaron, like to sell Celsius. 112. Yeah, that's okay. So 112 is like 112 is like 44.4 degrees, which is very bloody hot. And especially if it's muggy, that just makes it a million times worse. And 55 is like 12.7 degrees, which is borderline, oh my God, it's cold. Hello, Daniel. Yeah, that's why I live on the West Coast. Well, I mean, Jennifer lives in Wisconsin, so thus the Whiz Jen, which took me a while to figure that one out, but, you know. But I just keep things simple, D Griffin 1. And for some reason, I wasn't allowed to just do D Griffin, so I'm assuming there's another D Griffin out there. I don't know. It's a bit like Jammer 1 and Jammers. It's too cold for us. Yeah, 12.8 is like freezing. I got to admit, I stayed at home last weekend because it got to 10. And yes, I could have gone out bush, but all the timber was that bloody wet that all it was going to do was like smoke for the next 3 or 4 hours and before it actually caught under 32. Yeah, that's zero chance. That's freezing. No one likes camping when it's freezing. Yeah, I know. It's like, what is it with Wisconsin? It kind of goes from stinking hot. It's worse than going to Melbourne. Like, you know, you wake up in Melbourne, and Nepenthe can probably sort of be like this. You wake up in Melbourne and it's a beautiful sunny day. There's not a cloud in the sky. By lunchtime, it's pouring down so damn hard that it's not funny. And then by 5 o'clock, you're wondering where the rain went because it's so damn hot. You're looking for an air conditioning. Slept in a station wagon when it was 0 degrees. Yeah, I sleep in a tent. I suppose a car's a little bit better. It's a little bit more insulated, but I don't know about a tent. A tent would be just too much. Mind you, I've been out there when it's probably got to that overnight, but yeah, it's a bit like a caravan, Chance. You kind of need to leave a vent open so the condensation is actually better, which is kind of defeating the whole point. But, you know, yeah, I know. Brisbane, yeah. I mean, Brisbane is still better than Darwin by an absolute country mile. Yeah, Brisbane is humid, but Darwin just takes it to another level entirely. And as for Adelaide, we're just either stinking hot or freezing cold, one of the two. There's not really an in-between. Adelaide is, we cop everything from the freezing cold weather from the Antarctica or the desert heat from, well, the desert, to put it mildly. When you look at South Australia, basically you see the two Gulfs, the Gulf of St Vincent and Spencer Gulf, and everything below that is freezing cold and green and blah, blah, blah. Everything above that is just desert. It's, you know, a woo. Yeah, the lady next door has a couple of, what are they, poodles. And then her sister bought a sausage dog. And it was only like this big when she got it. It was adorable. But you call that dog Wi-Fi. But yeah, so they work at the hospital. and every now and again the sausage dog stays over, and I can tell the difference straight away. Like that was from the sausage dog, and the two poodles basically just, well, one of them starts yapping, and then his sister basically joins in, although we're pretty sure that it's actually the sister that starts it all. And they both know me quite well. But the sausage dog, because it only visits every now and again, doesn't. And as soon as it hears the back screen door go, the little sausage dog goes off its chops. Yeah. The two poodles are really, really cute, though. Barking for the algorithm. Yeah, I don't think they're barking for the algorithm. And it sounds like Mum's told them to bloody well shut up and get inside. So otherwise they end up setting every dog around this district, which is just hilarious. One dog starts, and within 5 minutes just about every other bloody dog is going, what? I want part of that too. So it's funny when you go outside, especially at night, because this place is so damn quiet. You know, you can hear a truck actually using its exhaust brakes 5 kilometres out of town. You know, you can hear it. Boom, boom, you know. And so, you know, if you can hear that from 5 miles away, then, you know, you can imagine what it's like when a dog sees a rabbit on the road. You know, it's like, row, row, row. Next thing, the other dog on the other side of it, row, row, row. And within 5 minutes, it's like, row, row, row. And then someone comes out and goes, shut up. And then all of them go dead silent. It's like, oh shit. It's just, oh God. Things that keep me amused, honestly. Oh, I got my headphones working. These bloody things. I couldn't hear a damn thing this morning. And as soon as I plugged my little thing in, everything just stops. Like, there were no sound coming out of the speakers, no sound coming from these, nothing. And then I'm looking at the instructions, and like I'm going to show you. Okay, that's the instructions, and it's on the back as well. And do you know there's not a single bit on there that is in English? We've got, we'll start here. We've got French, Portuguese, we've got Italian, we've got Polizzi, that sounds like the police in Italian, Deutsch, we've got Polish, that's Polski, we've got Espanol, so Spanish, then we jump into Chinese, and I'm pretty sure we go into Taiwanese. Oh, there's Turkey. Indonesian. We've got, what else have we got on here? Kazakhstan. And the only bit I can read on the back is PlayStation and Bluetooth and Windows 11. None of it I can actually read. So these are the most awesome instructions I've ever seen. They sell them in Australia at JB Hi-Fi, and they can't be bothered to actually give you an instruction that actually has English written on it. And this is why I was getting frustrated with technology. Great. These were, just in case you ever want to buy them, they're these. Jet. Dual wireless convenient connectivity if you can speak any other language than Australian or English. I mean, it should have been a dead giveaway when you read this. That's in French, and so is that. Yeah, it is definitely jet. I know it's back to front. Yeah. And even on the back, we've got French, Polski, Espanol, Portuguese, Dutch, Russian, Chinese, Indonesian, and we've even got some sort of Muslim writing right there. I'm not saying it, Chance. I said it once. So yes, in the end, there's a little button on the side that no one can read that flicks between wireless and Bluetooth. So this is why I have a magnifying glass in my office. And as soon as I flicked that little switch down, sound came through there straight away. And it's like, I'm sitting there basically going, why the hell are these things not working? Okay, fine. I'll just read the instructions. No, that's not going to work. Then I tried Googling it. Why aren't these working? Do you have instructions in English? And it started giving me an answer in French. Everything I've asked this morning is basically, you just keep flicking buttons until something actually happens. Oh, this is my mouse. It's a laser mouse. It's got weights, and yes, it's got a cord. I can't use a mouse with batteries in it. It's too heavy. So, whereas this one here is a really nice weight, and it's got all these. It's actually more of a gaming mouse, I believe. So, yeah, the batteries are a lot heavier than the weights, and you can actually remove the weights. So you can adjust it depending on what you want. And that's the benefit with it. If it gets too heavy, you just take the weights out. Whereas with a mouse with a battery pack in it, you can't take the batteries out because then it get a stronger wrist. Can't use a mouse. Isn't that a cruelty to mice? Especially when they won't stop moving, damn it. As long as you've got a block of cheese in front of them or a bit of peanut butter, they're fine. They sit quite still. And they think you're patting them. It's lovely. Use a thumb ball. Yeah, this has got, obviously it's got a roller ball. And I like the clunky ones. So that's what I use to zoom in and zoom out. And then it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 buttons on each. Well, 10 buttons on one side, and then it's got 2 buttons on the top. Like, oh my god. These mice, this mouse is like worth about $120. But they, unlike the keyboard, which is a no-name brand that I get from Kmart, and yes, Kmart's exist in Australia. This keyboard is like $8, and it is brilliant. It's made in China. Well, that makes sense. It's a KEJI. So I tried the gaming keyboards at one stage, and it fell apart within 12 months. It was just rubbish. This one here is going on probably 2 years, and I've got a spare one up there along with a spare mouse. and I still need to get a monitor, because how this thing doesn't have a hole in it yet, I don't know. Yeah, this keyboard's actually not too bad, so I don't mind this. So hang on a sec. I can't type as quickly as you, Charles, but it's got a nice chunky feel to it. So I just can't type as fast as you can. And I'm very definitely, I'm not a, I'm more like a, but I just know where all the keys are. Bunnings cruelty free. Oh no, I poison the buggers. Yeah, they're just, nah, don't let them go. Sorry. Yeah, Kmart's good. I don't mind Kmart. Either that or Big W. So Big W is probably a little bit better. Used to play flute, helps with finger typing. Yeah, see most of my time, I spend most of my time with my left hand over the left-hand part of the keyboard, because most of the commands that I use are basically on that left-hand side. So C for copy, F for stretch, TR for trim, E for erase, D for distance. It's all basically on the no, you're an old fart, Chance, so, that doesn't surprise me. You have wrist pads. Yeah. You're not young anymore, come on. I mean, you're getting on now. I mean, I'd hate to think of what your parents are. They're like 116 or something. You're full of shit. So, yeah, F for fillet, all those things. And so, yeah, all of my commands are on my team. Aren't you going to Florida? Isn't that where all the retirees go in America? They just all move to Florida. It's like there's a gate at the top of the peninsula, and it's like, they ask you for your identification badge, and then you're allowed through the gate because, you're old enough. And then once you're through, they just shut the gate because the chances of you ever leaving are pretty slim. Yeah, I mean, I'll be 55 this year, September, so I'm 54. Chances just, he's not 84. Holy shit, you guys are old. I know. This coming from, I think we've had these guessing games before, but I thought you were probably in your 50s, but I'm thinking you're younger than that. I have a feeling you're around about 44, if not around about 40 to 44, somewhere in there. At a guess. And only because, most of us leave college at probably around about 20, 24, 25, and you've been married for 20 years, so that's, add those two together, and it took 3 colleges to break it. At 84, you must have been in college for like 30 years each time. So, not that it matters anyway. I couldn't give a shit. Honestly, I couldn't give a rat's ass. I know, right? It's called life skills. I mean, you're just smarter than all of us. Speaking of school bullshit, yeah, it took him 84 years before he finally figured out what he wanted to do with his life. I did actually, yes. They did use Etch-a-Sketch geometry, yes. Weirdly enough, yes. But then I went to school at a lot of country places. I do know what Etch-a-Sketch. And those stupid things that used to come in like a box, and they had circles and arcs, and you used to stick your pencil in it and then draw these swirly things, and it's like, get the sandpaper out, an abacus. I was taught how to use an abacus. And yes, we did have a sand table. Yes, I've used a retractor and a compass. I draw houses. Protractor, yes. I didn't just go from like school to CAD to CAD. I went from school to using Rotring design pens and purple pencils to draw everything with, because you did everything in purple, and then you went over the top with your ink pens, because the old ammonia copiers back then couldn't see purple. So, you'd basically have your original drawing on tracing paper, and then basically you'd run it through the ammonia printer, and it'd be covered in purple, and you'd run it through the ammonia printer and it'd come out looking lovely. Except at one stage I had to go into a construction office in the middle of Adelaide when a hotel was being built for school holidays, and my job was to basically go through all the old drawings, like the really, really big ones. First college really did, and I took 4.0, great average, not bad. Yeah, and they got me working with a ammonia printer, which was lovely, except no one warned me that by lunchtime, technically you're only supposed to stand in front of those things for like half an hour max. They had me there for like 3 or 4 hours, and I was seeing pixies by lunchtime. The stench out of those things is phenomenal. Oh my God, being stuck into like a little office with a window that you couldn't open, and can you just print off like 20 of these, and you had to do each one at a time, and it took ages to go through it. Yeah, I did go to university. I think you guys call it college. But surprisingly, I never actually finished my course. We all got jobs. So came out of year 12 and went straight to university. And they told us right from the start that basically, before we actually finished the course, we had to have like 100 days of work experience. And back then that was pretty easy. But the problem was that after about 30 days, most of us were offered jobs, so we just didn't go back. And funnily enough, the only part of the course that I never finished was CAD drafting. And I've been doing that for like over 20 years now. So, which is just weird. So I draw houses on a computer. It's like a computer game, only less. So yeah, that's part of my problem. I don't know what it's like over there, but I'm actually not technically allowed to draw houses for money in New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, and Western Australia. I can only do it. Oh, and Tasmania. I can only do it in South Australia and Northern Territory. But in saying that, I do. But that's under the builders. So, and that's all good. But if I wanted to do it on my own, or if I had private work, considering I'm only like Oh, within 30 kilometres of the Victorian border, if somebody over the border wanted a new shed, then basically I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd have to get somebody else to do it. So, and it's stupid. We're the same country. And I've been through that before, but complete my CNA. Certified nurse. So you don't have RNs and ENs. So RN is registered nurse and EN is enrolled nurse. Yeah. RNs have been around for donkey's ages. ENs are basically, pretty much desperately trying to become RNs. And all the doctors are either Asian or, that's why we have student visas. They all come in to basically train to be a doctor, and then they end up getting a doctor and or becoming a doctor, and all of a sudden they're on $500,000 a year. But by the same token, we have a system over here called HECS, nurse practitioners. Yeah. I used to know a pile of nurses. I was really good friends with an RN, but it's sort of changed. I know in South Australia they're just about going on strike every 15 minutes because of pay. Because inflation is going up faster than what their wages are, and they're trying to get like 15%, and the government's saying, well, I don't know where the hell you think we're getting that money from. And then they turn around and give the firefighters like shitloads of money. And the nurses are going, well, fine, we'll move into state and earn $20,000 or $30,000 more. And they're going, whoa, maybe we could put it up a little bit. And they're going, no, 15%, or we find another job. And nurses are the one job that you will get no matter where you go in Australia. Like, seriously. Yeah, you become a nurse in Australia and you've just about got a job no matter where you go. It's, all you have to do is rock up and say, here's my details, and they'll just go, right, here you go, here's a job. Oh my God, minimum $8 an hour. Jesus. They just put the minimum wage here in Australia up to 25, and everyone just about had a minor heart attack. So the minimum wage here in Australia is $25, but good luck living with that. That's $25. Everyone goes, oh my God, that's a huge amount of money. Yeah, but it's all relative. It's all relative. Things are, that much more expensive here, then it's probably actually, when you work it out, it's less than what you guys are getting paid. Probably. I can only imagine. And I can't imagine you tipping away a nurse. It's like, oh, thanks for saving my life. Here's a $3 tip. It doesn't. Yeah, exactly. Houses in the US are half the price. So yeah, it's all relative to the wage and to everything else. So it's not like you could use. Maybe they just turn on the machine that turns you to dust. I don't know. You either tip properly or I turn this machine on. Okay. Here's $50. Yeah. No one can read doctor's writing. I don't care what country you're from. It's like they've all come from I don't know, outer space or something. And I'm pretty sure their first year of training in as how to be a doctor is how to unlearn the last 12 years of your life in terms of writing skills. You know, nah, we can still read that. Go back and try again. That's a fail. It's like how the, like, you know, you're meant to be prescribing a patient, you know, and you're trying to read 3 dots, a scribble and a bit of a line, and it's like, how do you do that without, I don't know, unaliving someone? It's not like it's not important. It's kind of important. And then you got to feel for the poor chemists who have to actually put it all together. First year is having to learn to read the doctor writing, yeah. Same course, different end. The post-Rona nurses are aliens. Oh dear. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're all turning into aliens to a certain extent. Most of them are zombies after a 15-hour shift. You know, it's like, Bubby, are you there? Maybe she's gone to bed. I don't know. Or she snuck outside. Lots of coffee. Yeah, but there is a point where coffee just doesn't do it anymore. Would you rather your nurse be an alien or lizard? Oh, there she is. She's back. You know what the scary part is? I looked at my my YouTube stats, and apparently some of you actually watch me on TV. It's like, no. I really should do my hair and, you know, the makeup and, you know, at least look reasonably, I don't know, just doesn't work for me. Yeah, some people watch YouTube on the telly, and it's like you can all of a sudden. You jump scared me when you finally got StreamYard to work. I know, right? I was as nervous as hell. Yeah, it makes me think that it's like all of a sudden you're like on this 80-inch LCD TV, and it's like, and like I'm taking up the whole 80 inches. It's like, no. Oh my God. That is just a frightening thought. I look fine. Yeah, it depends on what time of the day it is. Mind you, tomorrow I've got to get in a car and actually go 2.5 hours to Adelaide and start measuring up houses, so I won't be around tomorrow. Sorry, peoples. I might be in for 5 seconds and then probably gone again. I've got to go into people's bathrooms. I would if I could get internet between here and there. There's barely phone signal, so yeah. In fact, once I leave my house, there's like 2 corners. 1, 2, yeah. 2 corners that I actually have to turn the steering wheel and put the indicator on for 105 kilometres. Which, what is it? Kilometres to miles. So, 105. Yeah, 65 miles before I hit another corner. It's just a road that goes forever. And then I turn one corner, and then it's, I think it's probably another 65 before the next corner. But at least I'm on a highway by that point. So, Yeah, don't ask me to do anything technological, Chance. It's after today and yesterday, I think that's enough technology. It was funny actually because I was watching that podcast that you jumped onto after we finished, and he's going. One of the things he needs to do is start watching more YouTube videos about how to use technology properly, and I'm thinking he's not the only one. It's just distance. That's the problem here in Australia. It's just distance. Oh, yeah, that's nothing. I think my last appointment is at 6 o'clock tomorrow night, and after that, I'll have a 2 hour drive to get home. So I won't get home until about 8 o'clock tomorrow night. By which stage it'll be like I don't even think I'll cook anything. I'll grab something while I'm on the go, and by the time I get home, it'll be like stop, have a glass of water, and then just go to bed. Because I'll probably do around about 450. I'll do about close to 280 miles tomorrow, just tomorrow. And that's getting down there, fighting my way through a bloody city, which I can't stand, measuring up people's bathrooms and toilets and laundries and stuff, and then getting in the car and coming home, taking a bunch of photos and all that sort of stuff, all the boring stuff. So, got you downloaded, Chance Paladin. Woohoo! So yeah, you kind of get used to it, Bobby. It's one of the things, like I said, I used to drive 2,050 miles in about 3.5 days, and I could never get it any quicker. So yeah, I know you seem to be, you're desperately trying to get those hours up. Yeah. That was just from Adelaide to Darwin, Bobby. That's 2,050 miles from caravan park to caravan park. So I did that in 3.5 days. It's in effect, it's driving around about 620 miles per day. So you wake up ready to go and you drive 620 miles. And then you wake up the next day, 620 miles. Wake up the next day, 620 miles. And you're still not there yet. Yeah, probably, well, during daylight hours, I just, coming down the Stuart Highway, you don't drive after dark. So, yeah, I'm virtually in the car probably at around about 6 o'clock in the morning. And then I finish probably around about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's enough. So, and you kind of time it between towns that that I'm used to, I suppose. So, because I think the biggest distance between two towns up there is about 2.5 hours. So that's about 155 miles between two towns. And when I say town, it's barely anything other than a service station, a post office, maybe a motel, a caravan park, although you'd hardly call them caravan parks, and maybe the service station has a bit of a restaurant, and that's it. That's what they call a town. So, if you ever want to know, yeah, you don't look. It's as I've said many times before. Adelaide, the Stuart Highway. It's not just kangaroos. It's cows, donkeys. It's horses, camels, kangaroos. You name it. They just meander across the road. I don't know how the road train guys do it. They just run into them and just keep going. But you know, I mean, when you're talking a truck that's got 4 trailers on the back, they don't stop for nobody. So it takes them nearly 3 miles to, you know, they put their foot on the brake and 3 miles later they finally stop. And they're only really going at, 90 mile an hour, which is 55 mile an hour. You know, so I think some of them do 100, which is 62 miles an hour. But most of them sit somewhere between 90 and 100 kilometres an hour. So, yeah. I'd love to, honestly, I'd love to tell you some of the stories I've heard, especially the train guys, like the guys that drive the train from Adelaide to Darwin. Some of the stories they've told, yeah, they're not exactly pleasant dinner stories. And it's involved chainsaws, so, you know, it's crazy. Yeah, they're big trucks, Jen. They're you think of the semi trailers that you guys have got on your roads, and think of them with another 3 trailers behind, and you're starting to get an idea of how big these buggers are. They don't stop, you know. They'll drive. So the way the licensing works is in South Australia, you're only allowed to drive with drive for 11 hours straight. So they get in a truck and they don't get out of it and stop driving until 11 hours later. I don't know how they go. I really don't. I don't know how they pee. Yeah, they don't stop. And so after 11 hours, they've then got to stop for 11 hours. And so what they do is they get up just above Cooper Pedy, and there's an area where the Royal Flying Doctor Service actually use the highway as a runway, which is the weirdest thing to come across, especially when you're driving along, because it's got the white lines actually on the highway. There's no signage down the side of the road. That's just all gone, and it's just solid dirt road past the bitumen, and that's where the Royal Flying Doctor Service lands their planes on the highway, and there's enough runoff area on the side that you'll see about 3 or 4 trucks parked up where everyone's asleep. Yeah, some of them do stop. But yeah, it's just a different world once you leave the city. It's a completely different world. Yeah, meat pie. Yeah. Mind you, most of them will sit down and actually have lunch. So, you know, they'll do a breakfast or dinner or something like that. So, because all the service stations are set up, basically you'll have one section where the general public go in, and then another section where the truckies actually use it. So it's got all their showers and bathrooms and everything else. Yeah, sometimes they use 2 trucks. They'll use two Kenworths or Freightliners or Western Stars or something like that, and they'll actually tie them together. But generally that's because they're trying to get up a hill, and they don't have the traction for the weight that they're carrying. But otherwise, yeah, if you ever want to see anything about road trains, just get onto YouTube and just type Road Trains Australia, and yeah, it'll blow you away. They're huge, but the speed limit in the Northern Territory is 130 kilometres an hour. So, but anyone stupid enough to do that is going to work out real quick that 110 is better, because you just watch your fuel gauge go down. Otherwise, so whenever you come up behind them. Normally the back trailer's doing this on the road because the cabin's like, where are we? Meters to yards, I suppose. Meters to yards. So there. So, hang on a sec. Max length road train Australia. So, so they call them special long combinations, e.g. quad. So that's where you've got four trailers, and they can reach 197 feet long. I'm not sure about weight. So you've got vehicles that are just below 200 feet long, from the front bull bar to the back trailer. The double road trains, which is where you've got two trailers, get up to 120 feet long, and the triple road trains up to 175 feet. So anywhere from 175 to 200 feet, basically. We get the double road trains come through town all the time. And now all you guys are talking about is pie. So there was a huge multi-truck collision today. Yeah, the Hume Highway is one of those roads that I think is an absolute brilliant road to drive. It really is very pleasant. There's a couple of very major issues that people have to be aware before they travel on them. Number one is their signage is atrocious. So I've driven on that road, and it's got, you're looking for accommodation or something like that, and it shows nothing. It doesn't say what each town off the highway actually has. So if you're driving at around about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're thinking, I really need to stop, there's no signs. And you might think, I'll just stop in a rest stop and go to sleep for a few hours. No, you can't do that either. All the rest stops have cameras bloody everywhere. And they take a photo of your number plate as you drive into the rest stop. And then after 20 minutes, they don't just take a photo of your number plate. They take it, and then they send you an email straight away fining you for being there too long after 20 minutes. So it's crap. It is so dangerous, and especially once you sort of start getting that halfway point between Melbourne and Sydney, or even Sydney and Brisbane, where, you might have left it at 4 o'clock in the morning, like stupid people like me do, because I want to get the hell out of a city before half the people wake up, and get out on the highway, because once you're on the highway, you're fine, But trying to get through city traffic at peak hour is just... So I'm on the road by 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm gone. So by the time you're hitting about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you're ready to stop. You're ready to stop, relax, have a drink, have something to eat, go to bed, and get up the next morning and go again. But trying to find accommodation, no, it's atrocious. And that's something they need to seriously look at. And in terms of heavy vehicle haulage, the Hume Highway is a major connector between Melbourne and Sydney. So you've got so many trucks going down there, including trucks going from town to town, and so the highway probably needs to, in part, be redone, because as much as the highway was designed to actually have those sort of vehicles on it, It was probably only designed to have those vehicles on it for 20 years. Excuse me. Oh, I apologise. God knows where that came from. But anyway, yeah, so he's allergic to bullshit. I'm not saying a damn thing at that. So yeah, it's yeah, I think in a lot of ways the Hume Highway probably needs to be redone in places because it is dangerous. So, yeah, that doesn't surprise me that the Humes had an accident at all. So, and especially between probably Melbourne and the hills, because once you're over the hills, then you're pretty good. But you get all the city people who've got no idea how to drive at 60 mile an hour. You know, because they're all used to doing next to zero. Where are we? 50. Yeah, so most people in the city are only used to doing about 30 mile an hour or 50 k's an hour. And you put them on a highway and they've just got no idea. Absolutely none at all. You know, an overtake. Well, the Hume Highway's double lane both way, triple in places. I've driven along the Hume many times. Shh, we've all gone quiet. Bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Gorgeous and low fat. That's clearly not explaining me. We're waiting for you to sneeze. Feel better now? What was that gorgeous and low fat? That's not me. I'm gonna have to go back now. I must be talking about something else. They were talking about yogurt. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah. Because it ain't me. I know that. But yes, the things we talk about. Why do you guys always talk about food? It's like, it's got to be well past all your dinner time, seriously. I've got roast lamb again. I did another roast lamb the other day. Only I didn't do it in the oven. I did it in the the slow cooker. Yes, the slow cooker. Midnight snack time. I just ate some sharp cheddar cheese. Maybe you should have blunted it a bit before you actually ate it then. That could cut your mouth open. 11:36, 11:37, midnight snack time. It is currently 2:07 p.m, so I'm still 4 hours away from dinner. It was extra sharp. Yeah, but you're a prepper, so, you know, I wouldn't expect them any less. About to eat pepper jack. I don't know what pepper jack is. What's pepper jack? It sounds like a chili. Unless I'm mistaken. I probably am, heavily. No snacks here. I ate. It's cheese, like sharp, but not jalapeno. Okay. Cheese. Ah, so it's got cheese, but it's got peppers. I have had cheese with peppercorn in it. That's nice. good. Jalapeno cheese is good too. Yeah, I'm not a big chili person, funnily enough. I don't mind chili as a flavour, but it's when you eat chili and you just can't taste the food because your mouth is burning beyond insanity. It's like you could just shove anything in your gob, you wouldn't be able to taste it anymore. And it kind of I don't mind a scotch, right? I do like my scotch. And a client said, why don't you come out? He said, we're going to go out, we're going to visit a scotch bar. Okay, that sounds like fun. Except his biggest mistake was actually starting on the cheapest ones first and then gradually building it up. What he should have done was start with the really good ones and gone down to the cheaper ones. Why? Because by the time we got to the really expensive ones, and I'm talking, $300 for a shot, I think they were Japanese scotch, which probably tasted absolutely fantastic. We were all so pissed by the time we got there that it didn't matter what was in the glass anymore. It's like, what was the point of that? Like, if you're going to start with something really, really nice, if you're going to go out to actually try something, start and come down the line, because by the end of the night, it doesn't matter whether it's friggin' cheap. It's going to be fine, But at least you got the opportunity to actually taste the flavours and taste how smooth it was and actually have a really good experience before you're just about rolling out of the friggin' bar into a cab on the way home. That's not the last drink you want. And it'd be like, anything really. You don't go out and start with the cheapest thing. You go out there and start with something that's really nice. And then just work your way through the night. We were there for 2 or 3 hours. There was a lot of scotch drunk. And yes, scotch bars aren't where the Scottish people go. Although I'm pretty sure there probably was a few there. And there's no bagpipes, just a very elegant bar, just really nice leather seats and all this. I think there was cigar smoking down one end. That's that sort of bar, not the sort of bar you go to every Friday night. It's the sort of place you go to once every now and again, and maybe once every 5 years, 10 years, and you just enjoy yourself. They had some nice music playing, and we could all hear ourselves, which was, tells you how old we're getting when you go out and you can't freaking hear anybody's bloody conversations, or you're yelling that bloody loud because it's too freaking loud and somebody needs to stand up and go, get off the lawn. Yeah, well, you can't hear anything anyway, Chance, so, turn the hearing aids up. Hey, what'd you say? You can get Bluetooth hearing aids these days. I don't know how that works. Would you like some crumpets and tea? Oh, God, it's just annoying, Wisdom. It's like, you go out with some friends to sit down, have a couple of drinks, maybe, something to nibble on or whatever it is, and you just cannot hear each other talk. Like, Annabelle, a spot of tea, love. Oh, yes, and some crumpets as well would be lovely. It doesn't make it enjoyable at all. Like, at all. All you want to do is get out. It's like, can we just find somewhere else? Yeah. And then when they turn the music off and you're the only one going, I can't hear anything. It's like the whole bar just turns, what? And you're going, I don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, but karaoke is one of the... I've done karaoke before because... And to be honest with you, some people could actually sing, but then you'd always get the crowd that would come in at like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, and generally after either a hen's party or a bachelor's party, and they'd all be as pissed as newts. None of them could sing, but you'd have 10 of them up there trying to share one microphone and just making a complete blotto out of whatever song they were trying to sing. And we're just all sitting there either pissing ourselves laughing or going, yeah, it's about time we went to the toilet about now, isn't it? It's like, oh, God, here we go. Oh, yeah, it's like from one bar to the next. You do. Hey, you do karaoke here, mate? Yeah, we do. Right up those stairs. If you can get up the stairs, you can go. Oh, wicked, man. Hey, you over here. Oh, dear. Yeah, well... The bloke says, I was walking down the street and a girl caught my eye. I was so grateful to her. Do you know how expensive those glass eyes are? Oh, dear. Oh, it's like, you're hot, honey. You want to go home? Oh. I've never done that. No, I'm normally pissed before back in the old days. We used to go out to bars, or in our days they were called nightclubs. Except we would finish work at 5 o'clock and then all end up at somebody's house with a bottle of something. Oh, I'm not an alcoholic by any means. And it was, I'm lucky if I drink one drink on a Friday night or Saturday night these days. It's, I was never pick-up lines or anything like that. No. And I have dated an alcoholic, and that was just bad news. That wasn't good. But yeah, we would basically drink before we went out. So by the time I got there, what's your fascination with Subarus? Actually, there's a point. In New Zealand, they call them Subarus. I call them a Subaru or a Subi because we just shorten everything, it's just the way we do things. So by the time I get to the bar, I'd stand there drinking milk or water or what have you while the girls went off and danced. And I remember getting to a nightclub one night and took my usual place at the bar. And the guy said, what are you after? And I said, can I get a glass of milk? And he's looked at me like I'd fallen from another planet. And he goes, a what? And I said, a glass of milk. I said, I just want a glass of milk. And he goes, okay. And I said, and he puts it in front of me and he goes, and I go, how much? And he goes, just have it. He walked away. And then all of a sudden I'd end up, within an hour, I would end up with like 10 alcoholic drinks sitting in front of me from various girls who were shit-faced, dancing with guys on the dance floor. And funnily enough, they didn't trust the drinks with the guys they were dancing with, but they trusted it with me. So I ended up with like 5 or 6 handbags at my feet with about 5 or 6 drinks that I would protect like Fort Knox. And they'd come. Oh, these were people that I had no idea what their names were. Some of them are really good-looking girls, you know. Yeah, because, and we would go back to the same place, and the girls would basically just, they'd take a few sips and then they'd go, can you look after this? Yeah, sure. Just line it up with the rest. And they'd run off and they'd be, I wouldn't call it dancing. I don't really want to say what it was, but they were, you know, on the dance floor. And then when they were ready to go home, they'd come back, they'd get the drink, and they'd get their handbag, and it hadn't been touched by anyone. Yeah, dirty dancing, yeah. And then they'd go off and, but not on a dance floor. So, yeah, I don't know. It was just, I was considered safe. And then they'd come back the next weekend and they'd do the same again, and they'd just always run off with somebody else. And so, yeah, it was great. Yeah, the safe guy. Just holding up the bar with a glass of milk or a glass of water. And that's what they did. And I did that for week in, week out. No, I certainly couldn't have driven. No, I'd already had enough before I'd even got there. By the time I got there, I was not interested in alcohol at that point. It was just milk or water or Coke or lemonade or something, anything basically. And I'd go out with a couple of friends, both girls, and, you know, basically I'd end up with every girl in the place's handbag or drink or whatever, and I'd just be at the bar, and I never had any problems with anyone in the bar. The bouncers pretty much immediately knew what the hell was going on, and I don't know whether they were protecting me or doing what, but no guy ever bothered me. No guy tried to sneak anything into the drinks because I wouldn't have a bar of it. And yeah, you just sat there, you just enjoyed the music, enjoyed the show, and then, yeah, went home and went to bed on your own. And that was probably okay. Yeah, one of the girls I used to go out with a lot. Her sister, we went to a bar one night, and the AFL, or the Australian Football League or whatever it's called, half the players turned up to this nightclub, and one of the guys there was very well known to actually drop things in certain glasses. He was one of the top players, and I won't name him. And yeah, her sister basically started dancing with this guy, and then stopped dancing, and then sort of danced with somebody else for about 10 minutes. And I'm watching her, and the way she was moving was just wrong, like on so many levels. And I caught the eye of her older sister, and I said, now. And she's gone, and she's just, you know, they were both on the dance floor, and she's nodded at me, gone over to her sister and put her arms around her, and her sister's just about collapsed. So we got her the hell out of the nightclub, and I went up to the bar and I said, mate, can we just get Waters in and out? And he's gone, yep. And so luckily her older sister was an RN, and tried to get her to vomit straight away. And so then we just started slamming water down into her, just trying to get her to bring it all back up again, whatever she'd had. And we left the place immediately and took her straight home. And she was fine by the next morning, but yeah, whatever this guy had basically dropped in her glass was not good, because I'd keep an eye on, you know, the people that I knew. And I'd seen her dance often enough to know that whatever she was doing wasn't actually dancing properly. She was not normal at all. And that was just body language rather than anything else. That happens a lot, Jennifer. And it's one of those things that if you don't pick it up straight away, they'll end up in hospital that night, or they'll end up, taken to somewhere and treated not very nicely. I'll leave it at that. And they wake up the next morning and they're just a mess. And it happens more often than most people realise. It's just, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm in so many ways. I'm kind of glad I didn't have kids, because, I went to a nightclub once, and one of the girls wanted a drink, so she's looked at me, and it was kind of this. We'd known each other for too long, and we basically, she's looked over at me, and she's smiling and dancing and all the rest of it, and she's just gone like that. And that. And so I've turned around to the barman, I've ordered her a drink, I've taken it across there, and while I was taking it across to her, there was this guy, and he was he was kind of dancing, but he was also passing around little bits of paper, all of about that thick, about the size of your fingernail, thumbnail, I suppose. And I noticed one of them had Daffy Duck on it. And I thought, what the freaking hell is this shit? I'd never seen it before. I had no idea what it was. And I've sort of meandered around the dance floor and then gradually made my way up to to one of the bouncers who I knew quite well. And he goes, "How you doing?" I said, "Oh, yeah, not too bad." I said, "I got to ask you a dumb question." He goes, "Yeah, go on." I said, little bits of paper about this size with Daffy Duck on it. What the fuck's that about? And he goes, "Where?" And it's like, well, I'm not going to stand here and tell you, but I'm happy to tell you if there's a problem. And he goes, "Yeah, we need to go over to go towards the toilets, and I'll be over there in about 5 seconds." Okay. And he came over and he goes, "Which one was it?" And I told him when I explained it. And he said, "Okay." He said, "Just go back to the bar, whatever." And he said, "We'll take care of it." And, I've sort of meandered around and, made a joke and laugh and all that sort of thing, just to whatever. And he's gone over there and he's nodded at the guy behind the bar who's rang the cops, and this guy was in jail he was in the back of the police car within 5 minutes. And he said, "That shit doesn't happen here at all." So, yeah, I don't really go to the bar anymore. So, I don't know. I was actually drugged myself up in Brisbane. My ex-wife and I caught up in the city after she'd finished work, and we thought, bugger it, we don't really get to go around Brisbane City very often. So we found this place and bought a drink, and she went to the toilet, and this guy comes up and starts chatting. I'll talk to anyone. And then she came back and he disappeared. We didn't think too much of it until about 5 minutes later, and I said, I'm going to throw up. And she said, "What? We've only just got here." And I said, "Yeah, I need to go." So I went to the toilet and vomited everywhere. I barely had 3 sips out of this beer, but clearly he'd tried to drug me. That was fun. Yeah, I was a mess for the rest of the night. That was crazy. So, I don't know. I thought they just went after blokes, but apparently they go. Sorry, I thought they just went after girls, but apparently they go after blokes as well. I don't know. Some people have just got. I don't know. You just can't. I don't get the idea of doing it. Like, is that the only way you want to basically get him? I don't know, into bed or whatever. I mean, it's just. They're just sick. Well, yeah, they could do that as well, Chance, yeah. Whether it's to basically get rid of. Yeah, it's disturbed. I don't. Like, I mean, I've never really been the one to approach. I just. Too bloody nervous, too freaking. No. So I don't. But I'm not desperate enough to basically go out and just drug someone. That's ridiculous. It's stupidity on a level I can't fully comprehend. Just warped. I don't know. But yeah, they're forever finding that bloody stuff. Only went because of the band. Yeah. Just understanding it doesn't make it any better. No, it really doesn't, and it's like, I mean, the stupid thing is, I think, the sad part is that, I've met so many females now that have just been, they're just, they exist. But what they've had done to them is just, I don't know. I feel like I have to wander around and sincerely apologise to every woman I meet for how badly men have treated females before, because it's just friggin' wrong. It's like they've got dogs they treat better. They've got cats they treat better, and I'm not. It's just. I don't know. Yeah, but it's not just about serial predators. It's just that, I don't know, some guys just think they can go around doing this shit and no one cares. And, you finally, these women just go through it over and over and over and over and over again. And it's like, how the hell are you still walking around? Like, seriously. The shit that you've gone through, and it's like, I don't know. I really don't know. Because I've seen it, and I've heard about it over and over and over again, and it's like, it just doesn't get. And just when you think that you've heard everything, then someone turns around and says something, and it's like, oh my flaming God, really? Like, you don't have an answer for it. I mean, it's not like you can even sit there and go, oh my God, I'm so sorry, because that's just not even touching where I don't know. I don't have an answer for it. Really, I don't. Just, I don't even know how to apologise for it, because I've never done it. And sure as shit, I never will. We can see bad people just like they see good people. And I don't know, they just seem to go, and I just, I don't know. I feel you just don't know where to start. And like I've said so many times, my life was pretty damn good. I never saw any of this stuff. And it's not like we were shielded from it. It's just that we were never in a place where this sort of shit happened. And it was only really once you start making your own life and trying to form relationships and things like that, that you see it happen over and over again. And I don't go chasing for it either. It's just in every single person I've ever met. They open their mouth and they eventually get to know you and they start telling the stories and you're just going, I'm sorry, and I wasn't even there. I don't know. Yeah, and it comes back to what happened today, and it's like, it's bloody friggin' awesome that, it's, anywhere where people are, just feel safe, they can talk about whatever they want, I don't care, is a good thing, because there's so damn few of these places left anymore. And that's the sad part, because, women feel like every bloke's trying to hit on them, and then blokes feel like they can just do whatever they want and get away with it. And it's like, that just stinks. It's like, surely there's not certain places where they can go and just feel safe, Yeah. I mean, that can be, I don't know. Yeah, and I've had to, I can't even begin to count the amount of times where I've just gotten into bed and I've had a phone call and it's been someone bawling their eyes out and it's like, yep, I'll be there in 10 minutes. It's like, get out of bed, put your clothes on, and then go around, and they're just absolutely distraught because such and such did this. And then hopefully you can get them to laugh. That's what you kind of aim for. If they can start laughing and, telling jokes and things like that, or, hitting you, or, I don't care. If you can leave and they've got a smile on their face, then, and at one stage it was like that every weekend. It was, no, you don't even call. I mean, their family, yeah. Some just don't want their family to know. I've been told more secrets than I can poke a stick at, and you just, it's up to them when they're eventually ready, that they're happy to sit down and actually talk to someone. Otherwise, I'm not going to tell anyone. It's none of anyone else's business, really. I was the 1-800 call mum. Because mum wasn't allowed to know. It's like, you felt like driving down the road with one of those flashing lights. Damien to the rescue. Da, 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 da. Because, at the end of the day, if you've got one person that you can just blurt out whatever it is and there's no repercussions, it's like, why would you call mum? Because all you're going to get is, you shouldn't have been out there in the first place. And haven't you learned from like last weekend? And it's like, that's not what they need. They don't need that shit. They feel bad enough as it is without having someone go, you should have done this. So all you do is get in the car and just go there and just let them bawl their eyes out and talk and talk and talk and talk. And then you start basically cracking jokes, paying each other out, letting them wallop you a couple of times. And then they're good. And then you go home and finally go back to bed. And if it happens the next weekend, you do the same thing and you keep doing it until they bloody well learn, because I'm not there to teach them anything. I'm just there to pick up the shit afterwards. And hopefully you make sure they don't get into trouble. And hopefully, even if you lose the friendship, you kind of hope that they're going to get married one day and have a bunch of kids, and they'll be wonderfully happy, and know how to basically deal with things. And eventually we all grow up. We all go through that stage. It's just a stage. Where you need to basically learn how to do certain things and how to deal with certain situations, and you don't need a lecturer. You need someone who actually sits there and goes, yeah. And that's what you do. That's what I did anyway. And yeah, I've had people on the phone that are basically about to... I've been on the phone for 4 hours, 5 hours, trying to talk someone out of... Is it a pleasant conversation? No, it's not. And it never will be. But if you can get them to laugh by the end of it, that's what you do. This world sucks sometimes. It just really does. Yeah, I mean that's where these friendships end up kind of ending. Because I've had a few friendships that have lasted 10 years with females, and they ended predominantly because I found someone, and they kind of wanted to be doing the sleeping around and all that sort of stuff, and they were quite happy for you to be on the end of the phone every time they wanted you. But as soon as you weren't, it became an issue for them. And so that's sometimes where you've got to walk away. And I've had to walk away from a few people, simply because I realise that I'm either destroying myself, or you're destroying them, or they're destroying you, one of the two. But you end up having to basically stop and walk away, and as much as it hurts, it doesn't hurt as much as if you'd pushed it too far. So you do miss people that you've had to walk away from, but at the end of the day, it's probably for the best. And you'll never forget them. The way I've always seen it is each person, each thing you go through is part of the lessons that you need to learn. Because otherwise you simply don't get anywhere. You don't grow as a person, I suppose. I don't know, the way I try, up here it makes perfect sense. As soon as it comes out of this bloody hole, it makes none at all. But yeah, they're sort of things that you have to go through, because if you don't, you just end up not going anywhere. You don't learn anything. And even though bad things have happened to people that I've known, it's like, I didn't go through it, but I learnt what happened, and I saw what they went through, and I saw what I went through. So, it doesn't have to be something you go through. It can be something that you're watching someone else go through as well. So, you know, it's part of life. You can protect yourself. You can shove yourself in a cotton wool basement for the rest of your life, but it's not really a life, is it? You know, these things suck, but you come out the other side. So, yeah, which is kind of why I enjoy these sort of conversations, even though I haven't shut up this whole time. Speaking of which, by the way, this is lemonade. It's Schweppes lemonade. What does the emoji mean? That means he's angry. Why are you angry? It means your phrase blew my mind with its awesomeness. Oh, okay. I thought it was an angry face. I think Nepenthe probably thought the same thing. What is he getting angry about? No, it's a blown mind. That sort of thing, right? Phew, so relieved. Yeah, I thought frontal lobotomy. It's not yeah, I'm not a doctor either. So these bloody emojis, seriously. It's kind of one of those things. In chat, it's often difficult in chat to actually get the emotions of the other person. So, you know, you can kind of say something sometimes and you think, oh shit, did they get upset about that? When you were sitting there pissing yourself laughing while you were typing it. It's just the weirdest thing. It's like, no one's getting upset. Tell someone who lives in your shoes you don't know what it is. Like, no. Well, it's funny actually because there's someone on Marfoogle TV that I think her name is See Hear Think, and she just uses emojis for everything. Like, I didn't know there were that many emojis. She's hilarious. It's like she's responding to Marv's stories with emojis, only emojis. She very rarely talks. She wasn't there today. She hasn't been there for the last couple of shows. I always know her as soon as I see her because all you see is like these emojis. And Dr. Uru wasn't there either, because he's normally like this long of a comment that says, moccasins, oh my golly gosh. Well, at least we're not talking thongs and pants. Moccasins are probably more comfortable. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Look, everyone's got a story. That's the thing. Jennifer. Thongs are sandals or flip-flops. Sorry, it's an Australian thing. You know what? It's funny. You see these things on YouTube and they go through like a variety of words because it's like we're talking a foreign language sometimes. You know, we're not talking G-strings. We're talking flip-flops. Thongs are flip-flops in Australia. So, yeah. Come on, your thongs. Yeah, just don't do it backwards because you'll break the things. Yeah, I blush very easily. Red. It's like that. What's that F word? F-A-N. Ends with Y. What was it again? Can't think. Oh well, it's gone now. They look the same. Funny? Yeah, I don't. No, it's not funny. I can't remember what the word is. Everything's gone fuzzy. I can't read what you wrote before. Funny? No, it's not funny. Oh, and Chance isn't here anyway. It's gone down to 4. So, Jen. Oh, maybe he is. I don't know. I know what it is. Just joshing. Yeah, no. He's just paying me out. It is what it is. It's what friends do, isn't it? We just pay each other out something fiercely. You find something that annoys the crap out of them, and then you just keep doing it because you can. And you know they're not going to get the shits with you because, I don't know, maybe he's gone to bed. He's lurking in there somewhere. Oh dear. Well, I think we might end it there because I probably need to do some work. It's now 10 to 3 and it's probably 2 o'clock wherever you guys are. I know you're different, Nepenthe. I think it's probably 3:20 where you are because you're half an hour ahead of me. And parents are whinging. Yeah, 3:20. Okay, peoples. Well, I hope you've all had a lovely night. I hope I've made you laugh. I kept saying hi a long time ago in my Google chat because yes, and this is where I'm using another platform. So well, you guys have a great night, and hope you all stay safe. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.